Hey y'all!
HEX,
Welcome to Big Bets. Oh my god, I'm so excited for this. Our first webinar of this year. Let's go.
Awesome.
So yeah, like I think we're gonna wait for everyone to come in for a little bit. But yeah, thank you everyone for coming and joining us. We're really looking forward to share everything with you and what's our thoughts on things. So yay! Oh my god, like I can see the numbers growing.
Oh, amazing.
So you
look beautiful.
You all look beautiful. I can see Nathan. Hi, Nathan. Nathan, Community Collective is here. Hi, guys. So good to have you. So yeah, so like what are we gonna talk about today, Charlie? Are you excited?
So I'm like not nervous. I'm a bit shy. So let's show some love in the comments. So I can come out of my shell.
Give us love. Give us encouragement. That's the year. No, but that's great. I think we're gonna get started. I can see a few numbers growing in already, and I think we're just gonna get ready to go because we have a lot to unpack today. So maybe quick introduction, actually, before anything. You go first, Charlie. Who are you?
Yeah. So I'm Charlie. That's it. Well, we'll go about a bit about us soon. But before that, we'll say a couple of things. Awesome. So before we get started, we just wanted to do an acknowledgement of country. So the HEX team is based all across Australia and India, and we acknowledge traditional owners of the land on which we work, meet, teach, and play. So currently me and Shaye are dialing in from Wurundjeri land in beautiful Nam. And so we also pay our respects to the elders, the Indigenous people of these lands, and the Indigenous communities past and present. So without further ado, let's get to know who's going to be running the session today. So I am Charlie. So I am the marketing and experience lead at HEX. So you might see my face in the socials. You might see me running around either in Singapore or all across the Asia Pacific. But that's me. My favorite things right now is bandanas to cover up like scratched necks and like getting ready to go to Singapore tomorrow. So I'm super excited. I'm going to pass it over to my boss. The reason why we're elevating in this new year, we're taking things to the next level. Shaye Puma, introduce yourself, flex yourself, head of marketing strategy. Hey, Shaye.
Hi guys, I'm Shaye. I don't do front facing a lot, so I'm super excited to be here today. So I'm HEX head of marketing and strategies, and I have been doing like agency creative work and in this industry for a really long time, around like 16 years now. So yeah, really looking forward to share this with the community and everyone on what's next for this year. So let's go.
Yeah. Awesome. So what are the hot topics? So we are going to go through 6 awesome hot topics today, nailing down the trends, what happened in 2023, what's happening in the future, and place some of our big bets for the new year. So we're going through tech tools, we're looking at graphic and visual design, we're looking at the world of social media and marketing, we're looking at business and startups, we're looking at the culture, so that's fashion, that's society, that's art, that's music. And then we're looking at traveling and nomads. So if you didn't know, HEX is, used to be a study abroad company. Now we do way more things to do experiences both online and in person. So we're going to give you some of our hot tips around all of those hot topics. So Shaye, are you ready? Are you excited?
I am ready. Let's go. 6 topics, a lot to touch on. First one first. You ready, everyone? Sorry, that came out weird. I was like gonna go, are you ready? And then I would stop midway. Should have just gone all the way. Sorry, guys. Next one now. So let's start.
Just to preface, this is gonna be a very chill conversation. So yarn. Think of it as a podcast. you're experiencing HEX for the first time, howdy, howdy, howdy. If you're a repeat viewer, enjoy the journey today. It's gonna be super fun. So we are going to talk about our tech big bets. So Shaye, what is making waves in the whole tech universe?
Oh my God. Yes, that's a lot to touch on. Oh my God. Like, let me start off first. Obviously, cannot go talking about tech without talking about AI. Our friend Sam right here. Like, things has changed massively last year. I don't think anyone do not know how to use AI generative of some form anymore. I think everyone knows, and it doesn't matter what roles you're in industry, if you're students, how young you are, everyone knows how to use AI now. What
Yeah,
do you think,
I think
Charlie?
also obviously AI is on everyone's lips. I'm now an AI convert. Unfortunately, I used to be one of the people that would repel AI because I could do everything on my own. Newsflash, I got it. I think Apple Vision Pro, they launched last year. They did like a cute little soft to medium launch around the product, which is awesome. We saw new gadgets and gizmos come into the tech sphere. I saw Duolingo's on.
Yeah, I was like,
I
what
don't
is
know why,
that
but
thing doing in there?
well, they're
Why?
making waves in tech. They're making noise. Duolingo is the premier like socially accessible like education app for like language learning. So that's awesome. We see the
Oh,
Cybertruck by Tesla that made waves in the market. Roblox, I put that in there. I'm going to touch on Roblox a bit later. I don't play it. I do experience it. I do see a couple of trends. Mid Journey, and a little and some little gadgets and gizmos there. So Shaye, should we get into some of the big bets for 2012 for
yes.
tech?
Let's talk about our big bets that we think it's coming. So I'll go first. So obviously, I think my
Yep.
big bets for what's happening this year is obviously AI will be embedded everywhere. So right now it might have its own platform, but I think like it will get into each of the tech platform on its own. If you think about like
Yep.
Adobe Photoshop, for example, there's an AI embedded already that you can generate it directly without like needing to do anything at all. I think that kind of technology is moving forward more advanced this year, and we will be minimizing like different platforms that we are using. So I think that's my first bet. My second one is generative automated. Such a hard word to say. Faster and even faster work, if that's even possible. So let's say something that could normally take a designer's maybe 3 hours to do, it will now only take maybe 10 or 15 minutes because of the generative automation that you can use these days. And then my last bet is bringing human into tech. So in this case, obviously like AI human, we have seen a lot of like deep fake and stuff like that. And I think we're going to be embedding more emotional human touch into those technologies. So yeah, that's my big bets for 2024 in tech. And what about yours?
Okay, so my big bets in tech for 2024. One, I think so. Newsflash: if anyone has not tried it, there is an awesome browser tool called Arc Browser. I am a deep advocate. I am not getting paid to like preach about them, but I love this product as a tech tool. But I think it's going to be the Gen Z browser of this next generation. It's all about productivity. It's all about usability, but it's also like personal. You can personalize it. Like I think one of the days are using Google Chrome, Safari. If you use Internet Explorer, well, I think that's dead already. But
Is
I
this
think
like
I
your
was
tech
searching
crush,
up.
technically?
Yeah, it's my startup crush. I'm like frothing over there. Like I want to meet the founder, take them for a coffee chat, and just be like, "Can we be friends?" But arc.net, search it up, and if you see the referral page, say Charlie from HEX. I don't think that had any weight, but hey, we'll see what happens.
There is
I
no
think my second
referring.
big bet. No, I think my second big bet, Shay, is going to be is that AI will take over the gaming industry, and here's why. So I mentioned Roblox earlier. Roblox, I think, is becoming kind of like the sandbox, the guinea pig of testing out AI generated games. So if you are not familiar with Roblox, I'm more familiar from when my nephews and nieces play it. But Roblox is kind of like think of like Minecraft, but like more social. I think that's a really good way to put it. And like it's cooler. It's more in touch with this next like generation. Um, I think that AI is going to be making waves with Sony, with PlayStation, with Xbox, with Microsoft, in creating, generating games. I think they've got the foundation level because obviously games are made up of a bunch of codes. And I think we are going to see a huge shift as we're seeing with AI taking over content creators, video editors, graphic designers, software
Mm,
engineers. I think the gaming
yeah,
industry is going to be the next target. Is that going to be good? Is that
true.
going to be bad? I don't know. But
Yeah,
I think that's
gaming
one of my big
industry
bets
is
for
huge
2024.
as well right now. I think like so. I think AI going into gaming is only makes sense. And then your last one,
Yeah,
which is like a perfect link to that.
exactly. Is the metaverse. So with the Apple Vision Pros, I think there were some like memes or like just like common chatter that I think the metaverse was going to die out, right? Facebook thought they were ahead of the curve, renaming to Meta, creating their own meta, creating their virtual universe. But I think they're onto something. I think we're going to see a slower shift into like metaverses or virtual worlds that kind of emulate our real life. Is this going to be a walking Black Mirror episode? I don't know. But I do see like Apple or Microsoft or even Facebook becoming the pioneer of that like digital workspace, especially with people working online, people experiencing things online, and the way that our digital world is like forming nowadays, becoming like our primary world. I do see
Yeah,
that being like a big trend. So all these big bets, very fluffy, but that's what I think the big bets for 2024 is for tech.
I love that. All right, let's go to the next topic because we have a lot to talk. Okay, design. I love design big bets. Okay, so there's a little bit more my wheelhouse now. It's my DNA. What makes the big wave in design? Okay, a lot, obviously. I think maybe we should start from the most basic one if you don't know yet. The 2024 color aesthetic has come out, launched by Pantone every year, and the color is peach fuzz. What's your thoughts on that, Charlie?
So peach fuzz, it doesn't go well in black. So I have blocked, I've cancelled this color out of my mind. When I saw that this was the color of 2024, I was going to start by it. But like, I'm not sure. I have no thoughts or feelings because this is not in my wheelhouse of colors. But like, I can start with if I think if you're an interior designer, if you're someone who works with texture or fabrics or in fashion, I think that's going to be a huge shift of using the peach fuzz. In graphic design, prove me wrong, Shay, but I do not see it touching the digital area. So, what are your thoughts on this peach fuzz and
Yeah,
peach
that's
fuzz?
really hard. I think my theory behind Peach Fuzz is that it's bringing more calm this year because it was a little bit of a like whirlwind last year, and I think this year it is like
Yeah,
bringing more certainty, bringing more calm. People go traveling. It's that kind of color. It's a holiday color. So my thinking is like it's the color that carries everything else, which is interesting because this morning I did a quick aesthetic of 2024. And all of this vibe were coming up, and I can see the aesthetic is a match to Peach Fuzz. So I can see like maybe that is how like we're gonna use the color, but I'm also excited to see how every designers out there in the world using these colors and how they embrace it this year as well. So now that we touch a little bit about aesthetic of 2024, it's obvious that Y2K is making a comeback or maybe a staying, as I should say. What's your thought on that, Charlie? You're expert in this.
so look, I was born in the Y2K era. I love Juicy Couture and Von Dutch hats. But have I seen Y2K hit its peak in 2023? Yes. Controversial opinion, but I think Y2K is not a Y2 slay anymore. It's a Y2 going away. I do see some elements. So obviously, with denim texture, with fashion, might be kind of like continual staple. But when it comes to design, I think this year it might be a bit different. I think Y2K has been, I wouldn't say overused, but like I think it's becoming oversaturated when it comes to branding, when it comes to post
Hmm.
designs, merch designs. Do you see a bigger shift into something that's more explosive, in your face, experimental? What are your thoughts on Y2K,
Yep.
Shay? Y2 Shay?
I mean, I was like a I was like a teenage of like Y2K, so I was a little bit shocked when it made a comeback. Proud of Backstreet Boys and NSYNC for making it through, but yeah, like, I think the same. I think like this year it's gonna be a more like a stronger aesthetic movement. So like we can see something like from Spotify wrap up that like they use a really blocky color. It's a really kind of chaotic aesthetic, which like I'm gonna be in so much trouble this year. I do not do chaotic aesthetic. So yeah, like I think it's more kind of that kind of dreamy, whatever goes sort of aesthetic for this year. So let's take the bet. You go first this time. What's your bets on
Okay,
design?
so my bet, if I was gambling, if I was a sports bet, if I was hitting $5 slaps, I think print and like traditional design. So like out of home media, like posters, pamphlets, flyers, brochures. I think they're gonna make a comeback in the design world. I think we're used to doing like social design, social media designs, digital design, website assets. And I think we've neglected like what like paved the way for digital design. So I think we're gonna see a resurgence on that, on this new aesthetic and vibe and chaos. I think we're gonna see a lot of people do experimental designs, like throwing stuff at the wall, seeing what sticks, and going from there. I think it tells a lot about your personality. It's fun, and I think we have been so used to like doing minimalism or trying to keep things clean. I think this year we are gonna be messy. Third big bet: 2024 will be the year of brand and design refreshes. We're doing this here at HEX. I've known a couple more organizations who are following suit with the boom in AI, trying to keep like everyone's attention at the center. And then finally, new job title alert: with the rise of AI. Oh my gosh, like drink every time I say with the rise of AI, the word AI. I think there's going to be a new generative designers. So people who specialty is working in like AI generated tools to create content, to create designs, and it's going to be either it's going to be the pivot for a graphic designer, or it's going to be a new job in itself. So, what are your thoughts, Shaye? What are your big bets?
We do have some crossover on this one. I do agree that generative is here to stay. So like the generative designer, which I think is a little bit controversy right now in within like the design community, because obviously what does that mean? Yeah, like what does that mean to the designers of these days? You know, like we did so many years to learn how to do Illustrator and how to do all those things properly, and now like anyone, accountants or like can just generate that in like seconds. So I think but unfortunately that technology is here to stay, so it means that like maybe we will see some shift in design again. When something like this happened a while back, this is how graphic become UX and UI, so I'm excited to see, you know, this new role and what they can use with it. My other one is obviously what I said before: the chaos era is back. Everything maximum design. You can see on our slide deck here that it's just like more individuality going into it, and I'm excited to see what it's going to be like. My third one is diverse rule books on UX UI is going to change. So you know, we used to have this kind of that you have to have empty space here, writing this way, and all these different things. But with the individuality coming in, I think the diverse rule books will change massively, and there's no right or wrong anymore on those kind of things. And I'm just gonna throw it out there. I think next year the color will be electric blue, because I think it will be like a bolder sort of like movement for next year. But we'll see what it's like. So that is our design big bets for this year. Next one, social media. This is your thing, Charlie. I'm looking forward to hear what you have to say on this one.
Okay, I think social media has been a boost over the past couple of years, given that we are now in a digital economy, given the landscape of the world we live in. So the digital trends of last year, I couldn't fit as much like kids. I did the more like terrible ones. If I had the power, it would be just meme central, or like all these like Twitter threads. So I think last year, one of the biggest trends I saw obviously was Instacart. So the idea of a social media platform like making payment instantly without the need of a like Stripe integration, or like sending someone to a website to purchase the product. So we saw it starting to roll up, but not traction. Another thing that we saw in 2023 is threads in response to the Twitter X controversy with Elon Musk. And like I got a couple of notes with threads, and I think it might be a controversial opinion. But also just it was a year of memes, year of like social virality. TikTok became kind of the epicenter of communicate to an audience, to create
Mm.
building your own communities. But what are your thoughts? What was some of the things you saw last year, Shay, and social media?
Yeah, I think to me, social media it has like go into this era where everything is super clear. So like one, there's a
Yeah,
reason why you're on certain platform. So like you're, in TikTok for certain reasons, you're on Reels for certain reason. And I think like all the brands are pretty much clearer on like why they existed, which is really exciting. Obviously, like the Threads and Twitter X situation. X is something that I don't know where they're going, just because I hardly heard anyone say X. Still, everyone still say I'm tweeting and stuff like that. We don't know where that is, so I'm excited to see where Threads is coming in and make the wave on that one. And obviously, like you have it on here, authenticity, social media shifts. Like we're gonna see a lot more of that. And there's an interesting stats to show like the social network of like last year, like the most active users. You can see Facebook is still number one, even though like the new generation don't use it as much. But I think Facebook has become almost like a digital passport platform. So everyone has
yeah,
Facebook in order to get somewhere. So like that's good to know. YouTube is still like really big. They have like shorts now on it. And obviously like people are generating something else as well. We will talk about that in our bets. And obviously like other platform, it's just like building up more on like how to engage with that user. So that's really interesting. Let's take the bets. My bets. So my first one is EGC. So that's employee generated content over users. So like back in the days, marketing will be more like testimonials from real clients or anything like that is heavier in the back of the days. But I see the trend now, maybe starting mid last year, that they are using employees to come and bring forth like what they do in the back end. I think this is the trend that like people are more investing in the brand itself than just a product, because like there's products everywhere, but people want to feel like they're making a difference joining the same mission. So I think like seeing employee generated content is just a stronger like overall connections with your audience. My second one is the long form of socials are coming back. We're talking about blogs. We're talking about vlogs as well. So it used to be a golden rules. Like, when you do YouTube, 15 to 20 minutes at max. Can't go any longer. Like no engagement. I think this year is gonna change that. We are start seeing a lot of vloggers are coming back and less chaotic in editing as well, like more authentic, like sharing experiences. And my last one is this personal journey and connections. Like I said before, people wanting that kind of like relatability when they see the content. So I think that's my big bets for this year. And now yours.
okay, so I've got a couple of big bets. So I think, as I said, I think social commerce is going to see like a huge rise. I'm going to see a lot of, I think, like e-commerce brands, B2C organizations, but I'm going to see a lot of experience-based companies really like leverage, maximize the selling on native social media platforms. I
Oh,
think recently TikTok launched like their like TikTok Shop feature. They launched in the UK, they rolled it out in the US with mixed reviews. But I'm seeing a lot of kind of like the rise of people using social media as their own payment gateway. I think now gone are the days of I need a website to launch a business. I think people it's going to be more like I
yeah.
need an Instagram page, I need a TikTok page, I need my social channels up and running in order to sell, purchase, connect with consumers, connect with users. So, and I think that's going to be a huge generational step. So, I think that's one of my big bets for 2024. My second one, same one as you, Shay. EG, employee influencers are so hot right now, in the words
So
of
hot.
Paris Hilton. But we've seen that like wonders. A really good example is Chloe Shi from Discord, who was a senior product manager or product manager, Forbes 30 under 30, absolute legend, showed content on YouTube. But she became, I guess, one of the biggest Discord advocates because she showed kind of the development cycle of her products that she made for Discord. But it became a bigger advocate than all the users who were trying to boost growth on the platform. So I think we're going to see a bigger shift where employees are going to be put in the hot seat into creating content, creating stories around the organizations they work with to build brand trust,
Mm.
to build brand awareness, but also to put a face to the brand. My third big bet of the year is that size will in 2024. So I think long form content is back, baby. And here's why. I think YouTube last year took it because they invested a lot of their energy and efforts to create a platform or create a native feature in creating short form content. But what they've noticed is that the appetite for longer content is coming back. So people are looking at more content for video essays, looking at content like streams longer than 15 minutes, which is something you can't do with very short vertical form content. So what I think one of my big bets is that one, I think we're going to see vertical content. Something you see on your phone is going to be way longer. So expected to be exceeding 3 minutes. We can actually see the screen without moving or swiping. I think another part is that you make more money when you monetize your content that's longer than 10 minutes. And I think this is going to be something where content creators are going to kind of keep their bills paid over this tough economic times. Now, finally, we will talk about Threads, talk about Twitter X. I think we are going to see a Threads revival, right? We're seeing the renaissance, essentially, of Threads. And here's why. I don't know anyone who's called Twitter X or tried to call it from Twitter, but I think we have still seen like uneasy shifts in that platform where people are not. I want to say web. I think they just don't feel safe using X anymore. It feels so different, right? People still call it Twitter. I have seen surveys, I've seen results, I've seen studies that show that Threads user count is growing at a rapid rate. So they launched, got over 100 million users to subscribe, and then they took a huge dip because they didn't have enough features. That platform was really just like posting statuses and images, and it had no value to what XX was like doing. So I do think with the new features that have unfolded, people are trying to become like famous. Early adopters come back to the platform to kind of pioneer the space. Threads is going to make a revival. And like, I'll say this, I put my, I want to say bonus on the line, but I'll bet you 500 Bitcoin dollars. Actually, no. Yeah, $20 like gift card.
Janet is taking notes of this right now.
Hey, Jeanette, CEO and co-founder of HEX. Hi. But those are my bets for 2024 for social media, Shay.
Okay, no, that's awesome. That's a big bet on that one. So I'm sure that Janet will keep an eye on that. I'll see you. The next topic now. Oh, wait. Before we go away, we want to launch something. Go, Charlie.
Yes. So speaking of employee-generated content, what a great segue. We have launched our own platform on Instagram called Zillow. So this is designed for Hexies, by Hexies, from the Hex team. And so this is going to be our angle of employee-generated content. This is somewhere where you can roast us, give us ideas, tell us what you want to see. But this is a platform designed for everyone watching right now. So we have launched it. Scan the QR code. We're going to be launching awesome content going out today. And if you join the first 100 followers, you receive a prize, which we're exploring on our social channels really soon. So follow at HexiVest Instagram and say Hexy.
Yay! That's how much belief we have in like employee generated content. So there you go. Now the next one, our business and startup big bets. Now that's our wheelhouse. Like that's Hex DNA. So what is happening in this space? What do you think? All the hopes and dreams, obviously.
What's happening? Yeah.
All right. Maybe I share some stat first. So an interesting stat, obviously last year we welcome a lot of people join our community and become Hexies. A lot of the founders in 2023 did have a lot of focus on sustainability and AI. This is like not a surprise. It is like it's going with everything else that we were betting before. Like, sustainability is a big call for what's coming. Like AI is here to stay. And what else is happening last year, Charlie?
Look, as someone who studied business in university, I might not be the best person to ask you what's trending in business this past year, but I added this lovely photo of Succession because I thought that encapsulates the world of business quite nicely. Well, actually, we see the economy going down. Shay, did you hear what happened to the economy? Crikey.
Yeah, I mean, all that economy.
Layoffs on layoffs. So tech industry is shaken, is shook. What else, Shay? What else has been popping up in tech? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, business. I think like overall, obviously, like the culture of work has changed a fair bit as well. Like, like people are really depressed and tired, and the only reason why they're staying up is because they have some sort of anxiety, which is like exactly this meme from Silicon Valley is. But at the same time, like, tech is booming. So like while people are feeling the stretch of like all the economy and everything in startups and businesses, like, asking for like any sort of backing is harder and all of those things, but we still see a lot of like innovative things coming out, like Tesla make a pack here. So like they're preparing us. What do you think of anything else, Charlie? Before we take a bet?
No, I just I like the words blah blah business. That's a slogan I like to coin. So it's going to be trading in 2024. So let's go to your big bets. Let's get to it. Let's get straight to the point. Oh yeah.
You go
So what is Charlie bets for business and startups for 2024 as a person who has the experience to talk on the topic? I do think, honestly, we're going to enter a climate era. I think we saw a little whisper of like climate and ag techs like booming or having their little like unicorn moment, and I think that's gonna like repeat itself this year. I think with the world in shambles, with our environments crippling, we need people to solve those problems and innovate, and I think that's going to be something that makes a shift this year, maybe powered by AI. Second big bet: digital downsizing. Now, using tech tools can be very expensive. If you use a whole Adobe suite, if you use Google, if you use Microsoft, it can be very expensive. And I can see with the power of AI, with the power of free tools, that a lot of organizations are going to look to digitally downsize the tech stack in order to save costs, in order to make life easier, and kind of get rid of all the noise with having too many tabs open. My third big bet, baby, is that foursomes are back, and this is not what I meant. I think 4-hour work is on the horizon, and here is why. So Shaye,
I am having like a heart attack when I read that 4-hour week work. So you go.
How much time do you think that someone like me is like very productive? So I'm like, don't touch, talk to me. How many like hours would that take for a week?
Oof. I mean, realistically, I do think it's probably maybe in a week, maybe like 2 or 3 hours a day max. So in a week is what? Hand math. But yeah, like that's probably be my bet on that one.
Yeah. So in an awesome study that we've read, it mentioned that 4-hour work weeks or 4-hour days might become the new normal. So I'm hinging on this as a big flex. Hi, Jeanette Chia. I know you're watching. This might be something that gets rejected, but hey, it could work. My fourth big bet, and this is just me putting ether, I want to manifest something, is that I want to see a big like corruption story. So another Theranos, another like Sam Bankman-Fried with FTX. I want to see another like really like big CEO like get into shambles, right? Like, let's like a scandal. Like I love a bit of drama, a bit of tea gossip, and like to add that to the business world would be great for 2024. And then finally, this was a joke, but I left it in there. The less work era, and what I really mean is I think 2024, as with 2023, we're going to see a better work-life balance with a lot of organizations, with a lot of people. We are past the great resignation era, but we're entering an era where I think people are realizing what they want in the world, and I think organizations are waking up to fix those problems. So that's enough of me talking. I'll pass over to you, Shaye, with all your big bets you have for 2024.
Yeah, I mean, I think like a lot of our bets are crossing with each other's on that one. So I starting off with like the founders first. I do think that this year the founders will become a little bit more nomadic. So like we already noticing that when we have like a catch up with our community last year, that like a lot of our founders was just traveling around Australia doing the thing. And I think that thing is here to stay. And it's not only going to be like across like one country, but across multiple countries. So I think the founders is more open and receptive to how they can work. And yeah, I think that's really the big bets for me. The next one is similarly to you, not quite the 4 hours, but I do think the 4-day work is somewhat will like make a trend again, and it will kind of like be in a harder conversation with like a lot of workplaces. So essentially I think people are entering into this kind of like they're tired from last year and they just needed to work more productively in order to work less in like hourly form. And my next one is the new color work. So essentially, what this means is that we are prioritizing skills over the qualifications because a lot of people have graduated but they might not have that kind of skills that like the workplace is looking for. People are now looking for people with specific skills. So my thinking is like in businesses as well as startups, we are now not looking at people from qualification. Like we have people in the team now that maybe graduated e-commerce and they're doing something else, and that happens across every like industry everywhere, and I'm sure that resonated with a lot of people. And I think that kind of like new collar workers will be a new thing this year. Like it doesn't matter what you graduated as long as you passion and you have the skills in the right space, you can go get in anywhere. And then my last one is just I think people just need a break. Like, like we've seen a lot of people getting laid off and like that kind of mental stress is like playing high last year. So I think this year it was just people just need a second from like a hustling and just take a little bit more time to just chill out before they start the next thing. So that's my bet. Next one now. Culture. Culture big bets. What is in the
We
culture?
love good culture.
Yeah.
So what
Obviously.
is making waves in culture? So culture, in a nutshell, like it's really informing what like is trending in society. So what's banging in fashion, in art, in music, in experience, doing stuff for the culture. So without further ado, let's get it rolling. So this past year, we've seen a lot of cool things happen in culture, Shay. One of my favorite top picks of this past year was the Renaissance tour with Beyonce. Thank you. We don't get a copyright strike. Obviously, the Eras tour with God on T Swizzle. We've got Prince Harry and his lovely books there where he talked about things we didn't need to know about. We got Rihanna in a Super Bowl performance. Bob having a baby in her belly. The Barbenheimer like era that was awesome, that revitalized the whole cinema, the movie industry. We had the strikes, the actor strikes. We saw Ballet Flats making a return, unfortunately. Pharrell Williams becoming the creative director of Louis Vuitton. And then we also got great trans representation in the Miss Universe pageants as well. So much has happened in the culture. I couldn't name everything. But I'm excited to kind of get down to our big bets for 2024 about culture. You ready, Shay?
Yes, let's talk about that. I actually want to add, I do think that last year was a bit of like a girl boss year. A lot of like women have come out and they really search through like with their powers, which is awesome. Like Barbie really helped with that as well. Like I love how they like rebranding Barbie with like Barbie movies. So yay. Okay, my big bet on that is like, people are more in search for familiarity. Oh my god, I can't even say the word. But pretty much anything that is nostalgia. Like I'm thinking that like, even myself that I'm going back to Thailand for a bit, I'm just in search for that feeling of something that I know. And I think like people are looking for that more in culture. Like, that's why we see the Y2K is coming back. It's just bringing that kind of fuzzy feeling. So yeah, I think that's the trend for like our culture this year. My second one, the big one, individuality is back. I don't think that everyone has to be the same, dress the same, or do certain things anymore. There's like some people that think Crocs are pretty, and there's people that don't think it is, and that's completely fine. So I think like in that part, it's coming back in our culture and like playing a big role on that one. And my last bet is obviously like people are sharing the journey, like Taylor Swift movie, David Beckham documentation. No, it's like all the things I watch like on my free time. But yeah, I think like people are more sharing on like what they have done and where they're going and like the history of everything that make them there. So I think like that will also pan out in our social platform and to all the normal people as well. That's my big bets. And now yours.
I love culture. I like honestly had like a boatload of big bets, but I wanted to put like one that really kind of encapsulates who I am as a person, which is weird. Now reading some of them. So nostalgia caller, my first big bet. We love good on nostalgia. It's been like a big bet for the past couple of years, but I still think riding the wave, the momentum is there. We love a bit of vintage, a bit of a simple life. But I think nostalgia core is here to stay. Seeing people make sequels, prequels, bring back personal memories, life of a simple time. So nostalgia core is still going to be here. It's in fashion, it's in music, it's in art, it's in the way that we come as we are as people. I think my second big bet for 2024 is that Y2K is out, but Y2K mixing is in. So a really good example is Barbie World, right? Nicki Minaj, Ice Spice. They took a sample of an iconic song by Aqua, Barbie Girl, and put a spin to it. You know, bring it some live, some new flavor, delicious.
True, 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 true.
I think
Very true.
my third big bet is that it's gonna be a huge, like with that takeovers as it worked with the film and television industry. I think there's gonna maybe be a music strike on the horizon. I think a video with Grimes, who's leveraging AI to use her likeness, her vocal likeness, to create her own kind of content. But I've seen the opposite, where songwriters are like opposing the idea of AI, where actual artists don't like the idea that AI is taking over, like producers taking over, engineers, sound engineers, people who play instruments, because people can generate that. So I think it could be on the horizon, especially the way that people make money from music. I think it's not like back in the days, and these are not Celine Dion, Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston kind of dollars. These are spot on pennies. Number four, I think boring will really take center stage, right? We've seen a resurgence with the drag scene. We've seen a resurgence in, I guess, like LGBTQ plus visibility. But I think the ballroom scene is pioneering a lot of pop culture. The way you say, what are you doing? Tens across the board. When you say the word serving, slaying, these are all language and lingo that actually stem from the ballroom scene. And I think it's having its moment, and I think it's going to have a 2024. Examples: Drake's album last year took inspiration from the ballroom scene. Beyonce, Renaissance, that was a love letter to the ballroom community. And I think when it comes to fashion, when it comes to art, ballroom is actually going to become it's going to be like mainstream to the point where like we really understand where all of culture is pioneered from, where it stems from, and like how can we change the future with it. Now, finally, this is a dumb one, but please, we are boycotting ballet flats. If you own ballet flats and you are wearing them as fashion, please, we don't need the odors, we don't need the stench, we don't need the markings.
Oh no, that's an attack.
It's not an outfit. It hurts your feet. It's not practical. I'm speaking from people I've experienced in my orbit. Ballet flats, leave them to the ballerinas. Please, it's a fashion faux pas right now. But those are my culture big bets for 2024. So let's move on to the next one. Shaye.
Yeah, before we go to the last one, I think this one, we actually have a questions from Emma about how much should founders leverage AI, if not their core offering area of expertise. Do you want to go first?
Sure. To be honest, if it's there, like use it. I think AI right now in its peak is used to either innovate, reduce time, make life easier for a lot of founders. So if you don't have access to resources like if you don't have a graphic designer, if you don't have someone creating like copy for yourself, take advantage of AI. The tricky part is when you have a heavy reliance on AI. So it shouldn't be like I can use AI to fund my whole business or to make my whole business operate. We've seen people do that, but I think from you're not going to get the same perspective, the same element without like proper human touch. So without the human nuance. So there are pros and cons. People use the cut costs. If you're an early stage founder, like use it to generate ideas or to set like a standard, and then when you start building momentum, I think it's time to kind of get other people in. What are your thoughts, Shaye?
Yeah, I think on similarly note, I think the AI right now is like Photoshop version 1 or 2. Like it doesn't have as much functionality, and it's the best time to get in there and learn from the startup. It is existed to help. Like I said before, they can generate so many things that like it covers a lot of roles that if you are founders and you don't have any money or you don't know anyone that you can hire to help, this can help. Like, like long time ago, if you want to launch something, you have to hire writers to help you write your launch. You have to hire like graphic designers to help you with your brand. But I think with AI power now, there's a lot of areas that founders can just tap into and just use it to help them kickstart like whatever that they needed to do. So I definitely think everyone should check it out, and it's not as scary as it's like has to or sounds like it is. It's still on a really early stage, so everyone should just give it a try. Like, we can also like drop in some of the links that we think is really cool as well, obviously besides from chat gpt that is really obvious. So yeah, I think that is our answer on that one. Now let's go back and talk about the travel and nomads big bets. Traveling. So what making waves since traveling and nomad? Help me, I'm poor. That is true with this economy. So let's start with the big bet. So like this is some of the statistic that I was talking to the CEO of Go Overseas, and she gave me some of the stats, which is really interesting. I have to note that a lot of this audience are from US, and that just about like 20% were from APAC. However, the dream destination of all the surveys for Gen Z for 2024 is Australia. It's Australia,
Why?
guys.
I'm kidding.
Actually, also another note is that the number one city that everyone wants to travel to for nomad is also Sydney. So there you go, Australia on the top hot destination. Like, look, we're both Melbourneian, so we're a little bit biased on our
Yes.
sister over there, but yeah. But like, when we saw Sydney, we kind of okay. No, but Sydney is really cool though, to be fair. Even though the cost of living is a little bit high, but that's awesome to see that, like, Australia is way up there, and then Canada, Japan, and England, Ireland, like all those different countries after, but Australia is number one. So I think the like one of the predict that we'll talk later, but I think like we will see a surge of like other people flying into Australia, boosting our like business economy as well as like startup. So yeah, like really exciting to see. What's your thoughts on all the things travel and nomads?
Ooh, I think I'm still in shock that Australia is the top destination. Obviously, this is a survey from people who are not from Australia. Sydney, dang. On another note, like if you guys are looking forward to watch Real Housewives of Sydney, it's pretty banging. This new season's been great. But no, that's actually really interesting. I thought Canada or like Southeast Asia would be kind of the top pick, or even Bali, like Indonesia. But Australia, I might be not exploring Australia properly. Then I think I need to travel more and nomad around Australia more.
Potentially. I mean, I think it's a country of its own. So everyone's just kind of like interested to see what is happening in Australia. But yeah, no, it's really exciting though, like when you see it that way, because I also have some other interesting stats here. So 18% of Gen Z said that they want to take gap year and work abroad. That is like their travel goal for this year. Another one is like also about 81% of people saying that they want to have some sort of meaningful travel, and like that can really help the career boost. So that is also really interesting and something that we also believe in, that like, you should go and experience everything that I should do in order to like succeed better in like careers and in life as well. So let's talk about the bets. My bets first. So obviously, number one, like I said before, I think people are going to go for more meaningful travel. So that means like, when they are traveling somewhere, they want to leave a legacy of some sort. I used to teach Thai to like Australian, and a lot of my students, they all said that the reason why they wanted to go to Thailand is because they want to like help an elephant or build a school or something like that. Like I think like that kind of meaningful travel is coming back. People want to leave some like impact in wherever they're traveling, and that's obviously like really in tune with most of the founders anyway. My second one is experiential travel. So we're talking about like when they travel somewhere, they want to go farm stay. They don't want to stay in hotels. They want to live like a local. And I think this has a lot to thanks to TikTok, because obviously like, you watch so many experiential people sharing their experiences on TikTok, and people want to stay longer. So it's not like I'll go to Bali for 5 days anymore. It's most likely 10 days or 2 weeks. And they just really want to experience what everything has to offer over there. And my last one, new words. I'm just gonna throw it out there. A bleisure, a blending of business and leisure. Pretty much when you're flying somewhere, you're going for work or nomading, and at the same time, you're taking time to, like take time for yourself, your mental health, and just like relaxing a little bit. Bleisure. You'll hear me say that moving forward now. What about yours?
Shay, quick question. Can you say pleasure one more time?
Bleisure. I'll say this every day. That it will be my voicemail or something. I'm bleisuring somewhere. That doesn't sound right, but yeah.
So I think my 3 big bets, I think they're nothing new, but I'm still betting on them. I might make a small ROI. The nomad experience is always going to be a great big bet. But I think now more than ever, especially with that stat with gap year and people who want to do digital nomad experiences after university and after high school, I think that's going to be ideal. But I think businesses are going to take note of this and create something called a nomad leave or a nomad budget, where I think employees can experience the world but still be employed at their home organization, but they can work. This is something that we are very privileged enough to have here at HEX, and I think some of the trends here, we're trailblazing with nomad experience. Let's give it to the world. I've heard of a thing called ancestral holidays, which I don't know if it has a really bad connotation, but I think people are more exploring their roots, so where they come from. So I'm looking to plan a trip back to my hometown, my home village. Is going back to Thailand in the upcoming months, and I think this is going to be a huge trend this coming year. Is that people want to be more in touch with their roots, understanding where they come from, but really have a really good idea about who they are as a person. And I think ancestral holidays are going to be popping. And I'm going to make a note that a top travel destination for 2024 is going to be Thailand. I don't know if I'm just projecting because I really want to go to Thailand.
Come to Thailand.
But I think Thailand is going to be so hot to go to in 2024. So those are my 3 big bets for travel. Oh,
but yeah,
weather as well.
hot as a destination as well as the weather. But yeah, no, that's awesome because I think we're crossed a little bit on that one. Obviously, people want to go there and just finding a little bit more about themselves and travel. So that's awesome. I think we're coming to the end of it. So now we want to ask everyone, obviously, what's your big bets on every topic that we have on the 6 topic that we have today. I know that we covers a lot and it's a longer kind of webinar, and thank you so much for being so engaged. But we would love to hear more from you if you have anything to share of what's the big bets is going to be for 2024 for you. Make sure to share it on your social, tag us, let us know, even send us an email, let us know what do you think the big bets would be, what's your thoughts on our big bets as well. And yeah, do you want to add anything as well, Charlie?
No, I think I'm excited to see whether or not all these bets are gonna give me a good return. So the gambles I'm about to make this upcoming year with all these big bets. Let's hope I don't get cancelled if I said anything that's too controversial. But I do stand by my comment that ballet flats do not deserve to be visible in public. I repeat, ballet flats should not be visible in public. But I think that's it from me, Shaye.
On that note,
over to you to wrap us up.
So yeah, so on that note, with no belly flats, and I hope that everyone have a good years ahead, and we're looking forward to obviously connect with everyone more and see where you're going with your ventures, whether it's travel, it's launching businesses, or changing careers, anything at all that you're doing. We're looking forward to hear from you guys, and we'll chat with you later. Bye guys, thank you so much for joining us.
Stay hexy. Bye.
The world of work can feel like chaos.
Oh no!
But don't worry, this is your sign to start something new with HEXED. Bring your ideas to life, work on real problems, and learn from experts at the world's best companies. Forget boring PowerPoints that waste your time. Log in to the future of learning. So put yourself back in the game and accelerate your next move. Time to level up and become the next big deal. Whatever your next move, start with HEX.